They say 1,440 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This learning of Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is dedicated to be a schus for Am Yisrael against the enemies which we face today in an ever more dangerous world. Today we're doing Simcha Pei Tes, Siv Ayin Vav to Pei Dalet. Ayin Vav. Fires by Reish Simon is very clarified at the beginning of the Simon Sheish Nashim She'elim Kviyus Vesel Shari Nashim. The women do not have any set cycle like other women. But Arba Nashim Hein, they are four such women. Basula Shlehil Be'eshana, a woman who is, I'm not sure why being a basula makes a difference or not, but it probably just means a young girl who hasn't reached 12 years old. She's not 12 years old. Shezelzman Narusela, which is the time when she becomes a Nara. Or she reached 12 years old, but hasn't yet had the signs of body hair. Zkena, a woman who's past menopause, Shapaskarosa no longer sees Dam Nida. Uberes, a woman who is pregnant, who generally does not see Dam Nida. Umanika, and a woman who is nursing. They're not comparable to each other. The Psulas, Kena Uban, Elam's Man Real Cloud. The I think the word is menarche, beginning of Anita, and post menopause, they don't see blood at all. But nevertheless, if they did see 3 times, they can be kovev esed like other women. We see that this one, her time to see has come. So stuck with the man. This one, we see that her blood is not fully gone. There are some differences between them and other women. But a woman who is pregnant or nursing because they have a fetus there or a child, they are assumed to not have blood. Not because of their age. Is cloud. They don't have best at all. Which is as we shall see. Ayin Zayin Basula Kesa. Basula. Oh, here it is. Right now, it's specifically a Basula. Elam Basula, even she's married. If she hasn't reached the age of 12, I feel heavy simani, even if she does have simani. She reached the age of 12 and leave the country was checked for learning to basani. She doesn't have simani. She's not assumed to see neither blood. And she doesn't have a besashena kavua. She doesn't even have besashena kavua. Other women have taken kind of best, even if it's not a set pattern. It's cloud. You see, once or twice, she doesn't have to be concerned for the next month at all. Assume it's just a fluke. Just by chance. She sees 3 times on a specific day of the month, or focus 4 times in an interval cycle. She has a cycle like any other woman. Because obviously it's become evident that she it can see Nida blood. So too is true about any other type of vesets which she might establish. Ayin Ches. We come to nonetheless the Yesh Fresh Benola Gdola. There's a difference between her and a girl who's over 12. The Gdola should come a vesset a girl's Nara or above who had a cycle for 3 times. But Inan Shatako Shoshpan is out of vesset Shakava. She needs to uproot it. She needs to have 3 times to uproot. Right, to uproot, she has to have 3 times to uproot the vessel kabua. Dugma, for example, a couple of vessels, she has a vessel every 2 months she sees. Beinyan, Shayavu, Shoshpan, Shnei below Tire. But sorry, Beinyan requires Shayavu, Shoshpan, below Tire. Let's go through thrice 2 months she doesn't see. Bezo ain't a tzricha. But the girl under 12 does not require that. The only when 30 onos bainos of 30 days passed and she hasn't seen akra ves lagamri. So she doesn't need 6 months. 3 months is enough. She's not concerned with the prior vessel at all because this goes back to her prior state. For me and Shay is a mikra. We also would say it's just a fluke. This I feel both its mind so even she goes back afterwards to see at 2-month intervals. In Chosheshes, she doesn't have to immediately assume she's returning to her original vessels, but she only has to take account after she has gone 3 times like that. Because she doesn't really have blood. So then if there was an interruption, then we say the first 2 times were just a fluke. So now also it's as if she just began from scratch. I think that's the issue. Some say some say specifically in this scenario. If she saw 3 times in short cycles, and then she stopped seeing for 3 short cycles, similar to those she saw. Then subsequently she has even 1 time in the short cycle. She has to be concerned with that she's going to see next month at that time on a benus, or for she has concern on benus kishar noshim. It's like other women. The dafka shepaska tzami taikum. Specifically when she stopped for 90 days. I know shoshonos benonios 3 average cycles. The shepiska paska temimena. We see that her nature ceased. Kishar noshim, like other women at that age. As a man, the real so we say that the first sightings were a fluke. I have a bonus katanos, but if she has shorter onos, dina kashar noshim. So the halacha is like other women. Avantiva Rashba Belators by Shardessus Lornekin does not see away from the Rash because of his rights as follows. Zelashoina. Tinokish years man of Hule. A child who's not yet had the onset of Nida Baskina, and we concludes who adin Yichazimanos Kanos if she sees in shorter intervals after she saw the first 3 onos, Pishim Sulek is Domini. She's to assume not that blood because the Kamusa Kilo Rasa Mitkila. Now she goes back to scratch as if she never saw. Hashem is God so Rishonas Mikraya. Where now it's revealed that the first 3 cycles were a fluke. However, until she sees another 3 times to uproot her current vesses, she remains with the smaller vesses. First Rishon is if it does not there. You're not concerned until she sees 3 times again at that interval. This seems to be what they hold about a postmenopausal woman. She went back to see at the shorter cycles as she was accustomed. She goes back to original setup. Even 1 time, because she goes back to original setup. So with this respect, the din of an older woman is the postmenopausal woman is different than the halacha of the premenarche woman. Why they not say that if it's onus kanos, even if one of them recurs, is a problem? Even though you can draw a distinction, nevertheless, it should have been clarified. Okay, nowadays it's not ever an issue because women don't get married at age 12 like they once upon a time did. Pay. That what she said. She sika when she stopped for 3 average cycles. Not concerned the first phase at all. If she stopped for this extended time. Now in Tzadik Yom Rasa, so she saw 90 days. And then after 90 days she saw again. And then she saw after 90 days again. Well, these Galish Rishon ain't no sealed dumb. It turns out retroactively that the first skip was not a removal of the blood, change of the cycle. It's for once every 90 days. A couple of veses, and now she has a cycle shafloga of 90 days. Vein l'shoy ken as lokaim on the veses shafloga tzorich arba pamim. Veses shafloga you need to have 4 times. Because she had to have shaflogas, you would have 3 intervals. The mes kan yesh arba flogas. You're also talking about where there are 4 flogas. Maybe means 4 rios. Because the first skip was considered the first time. She's got the vessel because it revealed that these are vessels. Partially the dafka shachorios hayim mechubanas mitzadik l'tzadik chitz, but after it's 90 to 90. So pixel siru rios and mecheres. They were not. One was not deviate from the other. A pixel siru basme, one of them deviated. Shloy rios mechubanos, that they were not precise. And actually arba rios mechubanos. She's not, doesn't start, they don't join together until she sees 4 rios, which are the set and precise pattern. Payoff. Uskena mikre, what's his kena? Koshi hil klaus no seo, shno says ikna. Anybody reach the general category of the years that should define as the years of old age. Ima befonel. They call her mother to her face, and she's not embarrassed. Feel ain't law, but they don't call her mother. Elishreally, because even she's suitable to call her mother. But that was their language for a grandmother. In our it says Arukh HaShulchan. Anyway, aim of or aim. The grandmother on the father's side, or mother on the mother's side. The Ikrula came be ponef. They call her granny. Lo takbida, she doesn't get upset. Gam ena choshesh was has a clout, and she doesn't really care at all. Skanakazu came as such a woman, came with 3 owners benios that passed, which is kino, which got over Laura, so she didn't see. I raised him slack his dummy, she did not to have any more blood. Vestos, Vestorish is not concerned with her first Vestos. I feel Chazavarasa. Even she went back and saw on a Benus, and on a Benus, Dino Kadina Tinokish Lohilas Mandaros. Allah is like a law of a young girl whose time has not yet come to see. That Shloshma and Sheshes, up to 3 times she's not concerned. She doesn't have to be concerned with the best like a younger like a young girl. I mean, bonus kind of but if she went back to smaller cycles like she used to see, it goes back to the first assumption, first permanent. First set pattern. I feel by machas, even one time. B'share vestos, another vestos. V'afloga shtei pamim, and by the interval vestos 2 times. In v'afloga so kamo mikodem, if the interval was like it was previously, shoyes v'gila rose v'afloga zoom when she used to see in that type of interval. Shani is galish. So grish lo si ukayel mikra. Now it's revealed that the initial disappearance of the blood was not truly a disappearance, it was just a fluke. In this respect, Zkena is more severe than a Tinokus. The Tinokus by the young girls after she ends up with 3 average cycles. I feel even though afterwards at short intervals. Like you saw previously, she's not concerned until she sees actually 3 times. Zkena has to be concerned even by 1 time. That's one is Gale Shadain Loposka Cloud. Because here the gilui is that she didn't stop. Supposed to imagine but Tanakos where you need to actually establish that she sees. It's going to go the other direction. So if it's Kana is more common than a Tinokas. Okay, again, because Tinokas, you haven't established that she's seen. You need to establish that. Here by his Kana, she already saw. You have to establish she's not seen. So it's kind of like a Motzah Chaber Lavaraya. In the brackets, he says that on account of this, he is dubious about a shach, but again, without seeing inside, we're not going to understand it. Pay base. Also, a woman who's pregnant after her fetus is recognizable. Which is 3 months. After she becomes pregnant. A woman who nurses all 24 months after the child is born, and she does that best kavod. Koas Vesis. A Muberis before those 3 months does have a cycle. Even though we know she's pregnant. Interesting, because before you reach the stage where the fetus is recognizable, she doesn't have the type of physical condition, such as her head and her limbs being heavy on her, which prevents the dam nida. She's not considered to be free of blood. Supposed to after the fetus is recognizable. A woman who's nursing, according to this, a pregnancy test won't work because the dafka to be in that stage, which is identified with 1/3 of the pregnancy. Vlad, or the son of another Menekas, a woman who's nursing, even though a child died, or she gave her child to a wet nurse. Nevertheless, 20 months, she doesn't get a set cycle. The fact that a menika is considered to be remove blood, it's not just because she's producing milk. And they say for sparking basically also, but it's because her limbs break up. I haven't seen that literally. When she gives birth, they're not properly restored until 24 months. And they say, so because her limbs all fell apart, that's why she's assumed to be free of blood. She doesn't, she doesn't, is not capable of establishing a cycle. After that's the Ramban, Shekovas Veses, even though the Ramban holds otherwise, everybody else doesn't hold that way. And in the brackets it says, so don't take the Ramban into account. There's the severity by a woman who's pregnant or nursing over a younger girl or aged woman. Vice versa as well. What's more severe by the pregnant and nursing woman? A young woman who's kind of, or an older woman. We explained the don't have to assume a besashena kavua. Therefore, they see once or twice. They're not choshesh the following month. But a woman who's pregnant or nursing, once they saw when they were bears and minika, they have to be choshesh for the coming month, as if it is a besashena kavua. The reason is the elders can't inlam klam kavateva. A little young girl and an older lady, they don't have the blood naturally. It's gone. But a nursing or pregnant woman does have blood. But the child impedes it. I'm not sure if that's the way it actually works biologically. But even though there are those arguments say she's not choshesh, she can't set up a veses. If she actually had bleeding, then she has to be choshesh. There's vice versa. There's a chumrah by an younger and older girl being over a woman who's pregnant or nursing. The young and old, once they see 3 times, they set a cycle. But a woman who's pregnant or nursing ain't just the best of the rishon. The first vessel doesn't count. I feel like best we get talks about is that even the best happened within this time. Answer the because they don't have to check. Mutas balin and mutas the husbands. Feel shovels down for rose bones and ownership and mutas the rose for him. Even if she's flowing blood and she sees at those times which she normally sees, I guess I have to go to the mikvah. For me and mikvah, we say it's a fluke. It's very simple why we say this. Younger and older girl, younger and older lady, they don't have blood naturally. And these do have blood. Meaning we say the Zuiga is mana, but Zuiga Paska is mana. This one, its time came. And this one didn't, its time never stopped. Yeah, Zuiga is mana is after she gives birth. The Paska is before she gives birth. Oh, no, sorry, wrong. Going back, Sus came time with have Ve'elu Harei Yesh Lahem. Yeah, so the young girl and old lady, obviously, they had vessels. So we say the Zui Mana, the young girl would say her time has come, the older lady, her time obviously has not ended. But that had blood, but the presence of the fetus or the child impedes them. It's not possible to be otherwise. That's how people are conceived and created. So it must be that there was some fluke in the fact that she saw the ech tikbe'ena veses. How can she be kover veses? So she's only choshesh for veses shena kavua, not for veses kavua, because naturally the blood is not following your cycle because of pregnancy or the nursing. That brings us to the end for today.